Before a single word ever rises from your mouth today, you have already spoken to the world. You spoke when you opened your eyes and decided whether this day would carry you, or whether you would carry this day. You spoke when you placed your feet on the floor and remembered who you are before the noise of other people's expectations rushed in to name you for you. You spoke when you chose to breathe deeply instead of rushing, when you chose steadiness instead of panic, when you chose gratitude instead of complaint. This is your morning devotion, not a performance, not a ritual you borrow from someone else's faith, not a perfect routine that looks beautiful on a screen. This is the quiet agreement you make with your own life before the world demands anything from you. And I stand here in front of you right now because I know something about mornings. I know how dangerous they can be. I know how powerful they can be. I know how one careless morning can echo through a whole year. And I know how one devoted morning can change the direction of an entire life. Some of you woke up today already tired, not from work, not from effort. You are tired from carrying doubt in your chest like a permanent weight. You are tired from explaining your worth to people who were never listening. You are tired from postponing the life you keep promising yourself you will start. But hear me clearly. You do not need permission to begin again today. You do not need applause to become serious about your own future. You do not need to be understood in order to be disciplined with your calling. You only need one honest moment with yourself before the world rushes in to distract you from your own becoming. Morning devotion is not about what time you wake up. It is about what you wake up to. Do you wake up to fear? Do you wake up to comparison? Do you wake up to the silent belief that your best days are already behind you? Or do you wake up to purpose, even when you are still figuring out what that purpose looks like? Because devotion is not loud. It does not beg to be seen. It does not require witnesses. It does not announce itself on social media. Devotion shows up quietly. It shows up when you choose to honor your body with movement instead of punishment. It shows up when you choose water before worry. It shows up when you choose silence before scrolling. It shows up when you choose clarity before chaos. And the world may never know what you did before sunrise, but your life will know, your future will know, your confidence will know, your nervous system will know, your spirit will know. You see, before you ever change your circumstances, you must change what you are devoted to. Some people are devoted to comfort. Some are devoted to distraction. Some are devoted to other people's approval. Some are devoted to surviving instead of becoming. And devotion always pays back exactly what you invest into it. If you give your mornings to panic, your day will return anxiety. If you give your mornings to resentment, your day will return heaviness. If you give your mornings to rushing, your day will return confusion. But if you give your mornings to alignment, to intention, to stillness, to courage, to truth, your day will return strength. Your day will return focus. Your day will return power. I am not speaking to the version of you that only functions when motivation is high. I am speaking to the version of you that must rise even when the heart feels heavy. I am speaking to the version of you that must continue even when no one claps. I am speaking to the version of you that must choose devotion instead of excitement, because excitement fades, devotion builds. And there is a deep, quiet kind of confidence that only comes from keeping promises to yourself in the early hours of the day. Not promises to be perfect, promises to be present, promises to be honest, promises to be brave with your own potential. Some of you are waiting for clarity before you commit. But clarity does not come before devotion. Clarity comes after you begin. You do not find your direction by standing still. You find your direction by walking faithfully, even when the path is still foggy. Morning devotion is how you tell your life, I am not confused about my value. It is how you teach your nervous system that you are safe with your own discipline. It is how you train your mind to stop searching outside for the permission it was always meant to generate from within. When you sit quietly in the morning, even for a few minutes, you are retraining your attention. You are reminding your thoughts that they do not own you. You are reminding your fears that they are allowed to speak, but they are no longer allowed to drive. You are reminding your body that rest and strength can exist together, And I know what some of you are thinking. You think your life is too complicated for something so simple. You think your problems are too heavy for quiet devotion. You think your schedule is too crowded. But listen to me. If your life feels chaotic, your mornings must become sacred. If your mind feels overwhelmed, your mornings must become steady. If your confidence feels fragile, your mornings must become intentional. You cannot wait for life to slow down before you build inner stillness. Stillness is what allows you to survive speed. Stillness is what allows you to carry pressure without collapsing. Stillness is what allows you to hear your own wisdom again. And do not confuse stillness with weakness. Stillness is not passive. Stillness is powerful. It takes strength to sit with yourself without distraction. It takes courage to face your own thoughts without numbing them. It takes discipline to remain with your truth when it would be easier to escape into noise. Morning devotion is the training ground for emotional maturity. It is where you learn to regulate yourself instead of reacting to everyone else. It is where you practice becoming a safe place for your own mind. It is where you stop handing your mood to circumstances you cannot control. Some of you are deeply gifted. Some of you are incredibly intelligent. Some of you carry ideas that could change families, communities, industries, and futures. But talent without devotion is fragile. Vision without discipline is exhausting. Potential without structure becomes regret. And I do not want you to look back one day and realize you spent your strongest years waiting to feel ready. You become ready by showing up. You become strong by staying. You become steady by returning to yourself every morning, even when you feel disconnected. You are not broken because you struggle to stay consistent. You are human. But you are also powerful enough to build new patterns. And patterns are built quietly. They are built when no one is watching. They are built when no one is impressed. They are built when the only witness to your effort is your future self. Morning devotion is where you learn to be loyal to your growth, not loyal to your mood, not loyal to your excuses, not loyal to your comfort, loyal to your becoming. Let me tell you something gently but firmly. The world will never protect your peace for you. The world will never guard your energy for you. The world will never schedule time for your healing, your clarity, or your courage. You must claim that space. You must protect that time. You must honor that quiet. Because your devotion teaches people how to treat your time. Your devotion teaches your nervous system how to trust you. Your devotion teaches your mind that you are serious now. And the moment you begin to treat your mornings differently, your entire identity begins to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes. You start seeing yourself as someone who practices. You stop seeing yourself as someone who waits. You start seeing yourself as someone who builds. You stop seeing yourself as someone who survives. You start seeing yourself as someone who leads their own life. This is not about waking up earlier than everyone else. This is about waking up before your doubts take control of the day. This is about greeting your mind before anxiety writes the first sentence of your morning. This is about choosing your inner voice before the world chooses it for you. And I want you to understand something deeply important. Your morning devotion is not meant to impress God, the universe, or anyone else. It is meant to align you with yourself. It is meant to remind you that your life is not something that happens to you. Your life is something you participate in. You are not a background character in your own story. You are not an afterthought in your own destiny. You are not a supporting role in someone else's dream. You are the keeper of your own becoming. When you sit quietly and breathe in the morning, you are reminding your body that urgency is not the same as importance. When you stretch your body with care, you are teaching yourself that you deserve gentleness and strength at the same time. When you write your intentions instead of your complaints, you are teaching your mind what to look for throughout the day. When you choose a moment of gratitude, even in difficulty, you are teaching your heart resilience. This is how change becomes sustainable, not through dramatic promises, not through emotional speeches, not through sudden bursts of inspiration, through daily, unglamorous devotion. And I know there are people in this room who have tried before. You started routines. You downloaded apps. You set alarms. You bought journals. You planned your mornings perfectly. And then life interrupted. You missed a day. Then you missed another. Then you decided you had failed. Let me free you from that lie right now. Devotion is not destroyed by interruption. Devotion is strengthened by return. Return is the real discipline. Return is the real power. Return is the real commitment. Every time you return to yourself after distraction, you build self-trust. Every time you return to your practice after difficulty, you build resilience. Every time you return to your intention after fear, you build courage. You do not need to be consistent forever. You need to be willing to come back. And there is something sacred about choosing yourself again and again without resentment. There is something deeply healing about proving to your own heart that you will not abandon it just because life became loud. Morning devotion teaches you how to stay with yourself, not only when things are going well, but especially when they are not. Some of you are walking through grief. Some of you are walking through uncertainty. Some of you are walking through transitions that feel heavier than you expected. Morning devotion does not remove pain, but it gives pain a safe place to land. It gives sorrow a structure. It gives confusion a container. It gives fear a boundary. It reminds you that you are allowed to feel deeply without being swallowed by what you feel. It reminds you that your emotional life deserves care, not avoidance. And slowly, gently, quietly, something begins to change. Your reactions soften. Your awareness sharpens. Your self-talk becomes kinder. Your boundaries become clearer. Your patience becomes steadier. Your courage becomes less dramatic and more reliable. You begin to trust yourself, not because everything is working, but because you are working, because you are showing up, because you are staying present, because you are practicing integrity with your own growth. And one day, not suddenly, not loudly, not with fireworks, you will notice something extraordinary. You are no longer begging life to feel meaningful. You are no longer chasing validation. You are no longer waiting for confidence to arrive. You are carrying yourself differently. You are listening more deeply. You are responding more wisely. You are standing more firmly inside your own values. And people will not be able to explain what changed about you. They will say you seem calmer. They will say you seem stronger. They will say you seem clearer. They will say you seem grounded. But what truly changed is invisible. You learned how to meet yourself each morning with respect. You learned how to become loyal to your own healing. You learned how to protect your attention like the precious resource that it is. You learned how to devote yourself to a life you actually want to live. Before you speak to anyone today, speak to your breath. Before you answer any message today, answer your own needs. Before you rush into responsibility, remember your worth. Before you try to save the day, save your presence. Before you carry everyone else's expectations, carry your own intention. This is how your life changes, not with noise, not with announcements, not with grand declarations, but with quiet, steady, unshakable devotion, without a word. Devote your mornings to the person you are becoming, not to the person you were forced to be in order to survive yesterday. Because every single morning, before your name is spoken by anyone else, before your phone lights up with expectations that do not belong to your spirit, before the world places its weight on your shoulders, you are standing at the quiet doorway of your own future, and the person you are becoming is waiting for you there, not loudly, not impatiently, not with anger, waiting with hope, waiting with patience, waiting with the soft courage it takes to believe that your life can still become something more honest, more steady, more true than what you have known so far. Most people give their mornings away to urgency. They give them away to fear. They give them away to the noise of problems that existed long before today and will still exist if they never stop long enough to meet themselves. But you were not created only to respond to life. You were created to shape it. You were created to participate in it with intention. You were created to grow into a version of yourself that does not shrink in the presence of pressure. And the only way that person is born is quietly, slowly, gently, in the early hours when the world has not yet decided who you are allowed to be. Your mornings are not small. They are not empty. They are not ordinary. They are the first conversation you have with your future. And the way you show up in that conversation teaches your life what you are willing to become. So many people keep saying they want change, but they give their mornings to habits that protect their past. They say they want peace, but they wake up and immediately feed anxiety. They say they want clarity, but they drown their mind in noise before it can even take its first clean breath. They say they want discipline, but they begin their day negotiating with excuses. And still, they wonder why their life feels like a repetition instead of a becoming. Devote your mornings to the person you are becoming. Not to the version of you that learned to be small. Not to the version of you that learned to stay quiet so others would feel comfortable. Not to the version of you that learned to apologize for existing. The person you are becoming does not rush into the day afraid of falling behind. The person you are becoming knows that speed without direction is just another form of panic. The person you are becoming understands that presence is not weakness. It is authority. It is stability. It is leadership from the inside out. When you wake up and choose stillness before reaction, you are teaching your nervous system that you are no longer living in emergency. You are teaching your body that safety can be created from within. You are teaching your breath that it does not have to chase survival anymore. You are teaching your heart that it can beat for more than endurance. So many of you have learned how to survive. You learned how to push through pain. You learned how to keep functioning while breaking quietly inside. You learned how to carry disappointment without collapsing. You learned how to smile while grieving, and those skills kept you alive. But survival is not your destination. It is only the bridge. The person you are becoming is not built on survival. They are built on self-trust. They are built on emotional courage. They are built on clarity. They are built on boundaries that do not require explanation. They are built on values that do not bend every time pressure shows up. And that kind of person cannot be built in chaos. They must be built in devotion. They must be built in consistency. They must be built in the quiet, invisible hours when you choose growth even when no one is watching. Your morning is not just a time of day. It is a psychological position. It is the place where your mind is still open enough to be shaped. It is the place where your emotional body is still soft enough to be guided. It is the place where your attention has not yet been hijacked by comparison and urgency and demand. What you place into that open space becomes the foundation of how you move through the rest of your life. If you place intention there, you walk differently. If you place gratitude there, you speak differently. If you place courage there, you decide differently. If you place discipline there, you carry yourself differently. The person you are becoming needs your protection, not protection from failure, protection from constant distraction, protection from emotional neglect, protection from a life that only reacts instead of creates. You cannot keep saying you care about your future while treating your mornings like they belong to everyone else. You cannot keep saying you respect your growth while never giving it undivided attention. You cannot keep saying you believe in your potential while never creating the conditions that allow it to develop. Devotion is not intensity. Devotion is loyalty. It is loyalty to your healing. It is loyalty to your clarity. It is loyalty to your emotional maturity. It is loyalty to the long, slow work of becoming someone you trust. Every morning, you either strengthen your relationship with yourself or weaken it. There is no neutral. When you wake up and immediately escape your own mind, you teach yourself that you are not safe to sit with. When you wake up and rush past your body, you teach yourself that your needs are inconvenient. When you wake up and ignore your emotions, you teach yourself that your inner life does not matter. But when you wake up and choose to listen, even briefly, you begin repairing a relationship that many of you were never taught how to build. The relationship with yourself. The person you are becoming needs you to stop abandoning yourself in small ways. You do not only abandon yourself through dramatic choices. You abandon yourself when you silence your intuition. You abandon yourself when you ignore exhaustion. You abandon yourself when you stay in conversations that shrink your dignity. You abandon yourself when you betray your own boundaries to keep the peace. Your mornings are where you learn to return. Return to your body. Return to your breath. Return to your values. Return to your inner voice. Return to your truth. And returning is not weakness. It is maturity. It is emotional strength. It is the refusal to disappear inside your own life. The person you are becoming is not louder than you. They are calmer. They are not more aggressive. They are more grounded. They are not constantly proving themselves. They are rooted in who they are. They do not chase validation. They create alignment. They do not fear silence. They use it. They do not run from discomfort. They learn from it. They do not build confidence from praise. They build it from integrity. And integrity begins in private. It begins in what you do before anyone is watching. It begins in what you choose before anyone needs you. It begins in how you treat yourself when there is no reward attached. Your morning devotion is not about productivity. It is about identity. It is about who you are training yourself to be when life becomes complicated. It is about how you are teaching your mind to respond to uncertainty. It is about how you are shaping your emotional posture toward challenge. The person you are becoming will be asked to carry responsibility. They will be asked to lead. They will be asked to decide. They will be asked to hold space for others. They will be asked to stay steady when circumstances are unstable. They will be asked to remain soft without becoming weak. They will be asked to remain firm without becoming cold. They will be asked to remain hopeful without becoming naive. And all of that strength is built in the quiet hours of self-relationship. It is built when you choose to sit with your thoughts instead of drowning them. It is built when you choose to breathe through discomfort instead of reacting impulsively. It is built when you choose to observe your emotions instead of letting them control your behavior. It is built when you choose reflection over distraction. It is built when you choose growth over ego. Some of you have been waiting for confidence to appear before you change your habits. But confidence is the reward of discipline. It is the emotional outcome of keeping small promises to yourself. It is the natural result of learning that you can trust your own consistency. It is not something you feel first. It is something you earn through quiet loyalty to your becoming. The person you are becoming does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be honest. They need you to be patient. They need you to be willing. They need you to be present. They need you to be brave enough to face yourself without blame. Your mornings are not meant to be rigid. They are meant to be intentional. They are meant to hold you, not pressure you. They are meant to restore you, not exhaust you. They are meant to remind you that your inner world deserves care before your outer world demands performance. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are not late. You are learning how to move in alignment instead of panic. You are not weak for needing structure. You are wise for building it. The person you are becoming is learning how to regulate emotion instead of suppressing it. They are learning how to pause before speaking. They are learning how to listen before reacting. They are learning how to respond from values instead of fear. They are learning how to choose peace without apologizing for it. They are learning how to set boundaries without aggression. They are learning how to rest without guilt. They are learning how to work without self-abuse. They are learning how to love without losing themselves. And all of this learning happens slowly, quietly, almost invisibly. But invisibility does not mean insignificance. The most important transformations in your life will happen when no one is watching. They will happen when you choose to meet yourself honestly in the morning. They will happen when you sit with your discomfort long enough to understand it. They will happen when you listen to your intuition, even when it contradicts convenience. They will happen when you choose to align your actions with your values instead of your impulses. Some of you have spent years building strength for other people. You have been reliable. You have been dependable. You have been available. You have been the one who carries the emotional weight. You have been the one who keeps things together. You have been the one who shows up. But you have not always been that devoted to yourself. The person you are becoming needs your loyalty now. They need your energy. They need your attention. They need your care. They need your commitment to stop pouring your best hours into everyone else while giving your own growth leftovers. Your mornings are not for proving your worth. They are for remembering it. They are not for fixing everything that is broken. They are for strengthening what is already alive within you. They are not for rehearsing fear. They are for rehearsing courage. They are not for reviewing yesterday's failures. They are for preparing today's integrity. The person you are becoming knows that emotional strength is not emotional numbness. It is emotional awareness. It is the ability to feel deeply without being controlled by what you feel. It is the ability to stay grounded while experiencing uncertainty. It is the ability to remain open without becoming fragile. It is the ability to remain firm without becoming rigid. And this emotional maturity cannot be downloaded. It must be practiced. It must be embodied. It must be cultivated through daily attention. Your morning devotion is emotional training. It is psychological training. It is spiritual training. It is leadership training for your own life. It teaches you how to sit with complexity. It teaches you how to tolerate discomfort without self-sabotage. It teaches you how to stay present when your mind wants to escape. It teaches you how to regulate your internal environment so that your external world does not constantly overwhelm you. The person you are becoming does not run from silence. They respect it. They use it as a mirror. They use it as a teacher. They use it as a place to hear what their life is quietly asking of them. Your life is always speaking to you. Through exhaustion, through restlessness, through longing, through frustration, through joy, through curiosity, through resistance, through peace. But you cannot hear it when your mornings are filled with noise. You cannot hear it when your attention is scattered before you even arrive inside your own body. You cannot hear it when you never slow down long enough to listen. Devote your mornings to the person you are becoming, because that person is built from your attention. They are built from your choices. They are built from your habits. They are built from your emotional posture. They are built from your willingness to show up for your own life. You do not need to overhaul your entire existence. You need to honor the first moments of your day. You need to meet yourself gently. You need to ask yourself honestly how you are. You need to give your mind space to settle. You need to give your body respect. You need to give your heart permission to be real. You need to give your growth a place to land. The person you are becoming is not defined by your past. They are shaped by your present discipline. They are shaped by your daily decisions. They are shaped by your emotional integrity. They are shaped by your consistency when motivation disappears. They are shaped by your courage to remain engaged with your own becoming. And I want you to understand something that may quietly change the way you see yourself. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your self-relationship. You rise to the level of how you treat your mind. You rise to the level of how you regulate your emotions. You rise to the level of how you respond to discomfort. You rise to the level of how much honesty you can hold with yourself. Your mornings are where that relationship is built. Your mornings are where trust is created. Your mornings are where self-respect becomes embodied instead of theoretical. Your mornings are where alignment becomes a lived experience. The person you are becoming is not in competition with anyone else. They are in conversation with your own potential. They are not trying to impress. They are trying to live truthfully. They are not trying to win. They are trying to become whole. They are not trying to be perfect. They are trying to be present. And presence is the greatest discipline you will ever practice. Presence with your breath. Presence with your thoughts. Presence with your emotions. Presence with your intentions. Presence with your limits. Presence with your values. Presence with your growth. Your mornings are where you practice staying. Staying with discomfort. Staying with uncertainty. Staying with your truth. Staying with your intention. Staying with your life. The person you are becoming needs you to stop waiting for permission. They need you to stop postponing your growth. They need you to stop bargaining with your own potential. They need you to stop shrinking your devotion to fit into convenience. Your life is not meant to be managed only through reaction. It is meant to be shaped through conscious participation. Your future is not something you arrive at accidentally. It is something you build through daily attention. Devote your mornings to the person you are becoming, because every morning is a quiet vote for the life you will eventually live. Every morning is a small declaration of what you believe you deserve. Every morning is a gentle rehearsal of the character you are practicing becoming. Every morning is a private commitment to the version of you that has not yet fully arrived. And that version of you is not asking for more time. They are asking for your attention. They are asking for your honesty. They are asking for your courage. They are asking for your patience. They are asking for your devotion.